So there's this video to the listeners that's not watching the video on YouTube. This is a rave happening inside a bakery in Antwerp, Netherlands, if I'm correct. And then I think this entire phenomena is not only happening in the Netherlands. Look at this video. They're not really drunk or on drugs, but they're having a rave in daytime in a bakery. So I think this entire event structure also happens around like Germany or like other parts of Europe. And it's just like really interesting when I really dissect it psychologically or like as a cultural phenomena, because it makes sense that this is happening because there's a growing trend of less young people drinking alcohol and participating in these club cultures. But then there will always be a rave culture because the entire core of that community is about the music. So that's not going to go away. It doesn't really need alcohol to survive or this like club culture to survive or any like festivals. So this actually brings a lot of possibilities that you can take the rave outside the environments of these clubs or festivals. Taking the rave into a coffee shop is actually interesting to me. And then like I would at least go there once. Then I just thought about, okay, what are some other rave situations, like location or environments that you can bring the raves into? And then when I started to think about all these locations, like art galleries or like maybe like a closed down grocery store or like a abandoned building, I start to think about like all the regulations of noise complaints or the local government. If let's say if you're in a municipality or like local government that's like more stringent on having all these noises at night, I'm just like, okay, what is a way around it? And then I remember these things exist for silent disco. On our favorite platform, Alibaba.com, this podcast is not sponsored by Alibaba. These silent disco headphones are being sold for $10 to $20 a piece with the MOQ, minimum order quantity of 100 pieces. That's a pretty approachable starting capital to just like buy these and then to essentially have a portable rave with like 100 attendees to just dance. Once you have this equipment set, you can essentially bring the rave anywhere. Essentially anywhere that can just take some dancing, enough space. The noise doesn't really matter. Maybe like some floor stomping, but to me, that's like still not enough to be like, I don't know, bass blasting in like multiple amplifiers. So then I think this is the business. This could potentially be the business, is to just ride this unexpected rave locations trend and then dispatching these wireless headphones as a service, whether if it's like to the location owners or it could literally be malls for special events. I think you are the dispatch service. Let's say to have like a package rave and have these wireless headphones. You're doing it at like $3,000 to $5,000 per pop. And then that is more than enough for you to recoup the initial equipment costs. And then I think also to generate more hype or more demand in this unexpected rave events world, I would probably organize some of my own random raves. Maybe it's like at a random park in daytime or like in local cafes or coffee shops or even bakeries, just like in Europe. Exactly. I would advertise this event on Facebook events. I also do some events when the weather is nice in Toronto as well. I kind of have a little bit of a systematized process. Facebook events is really powerful because they will promote your event on random people's feeds. I think Facebook really wants the platform to be like focused on groups and events and marketplace. So that's the big utility factor of Facebook. If you just like create several events that's just like local, I think Facebook's algorithm will automatically push that into people's timelines. And that's just free impressions. And then also, I would list the events on just local city calendars because like even with the city of Toronto, they have like a public events calendar. And to post on there is free. And then there's several of these local blog publication calendars that you can just freely list your events. So I would probably just find your city government events page and list your events there. That's all free impressions. And also identify a couple local blog article publications online and then see if they have an events calendar. It's probably free to just like list those events.
There's probably also like a SaaS already out there that will blast your event to all of these places as well. And if that doesn't exist, then there we go. That's the third viral idea of the podcast today. Runda, I think this one's crazy because it's actually like a guaranteed to go viral thing. I scroll past a coffee rave like probably every few minutes. Like these things are totally popping off. Like there's so much social proof behind this trend. People like raves, but they don't necessarily like doing hard drugs and going out until 6 a.m. So yeah, like of course you've got raves that are happening at coffee shops and it's like at 8 a.m. happening throughout the day. I actually shot a rave like that in January. Like this is just like so becoming a thing. It's getting bigger and bigger. Like these are the best viral ideas because there's just already so much proof that this is going viral. Like I could literally find you 10 videos right now that all have over 1 million organic views on them just from going viral in their own way. And yeah, bro, the feasibility on this one is like top notch. Like I was just looking at rental websites for these silent disco things. It seems like most of them are renting the headsets out for about 25 to 30% of the per cost of the headphone. Like literally think about that. Like you could buy those headphones, and if you're planning on basically renting them out 3 times ever, you'll break even on them. Pairing it with something like this adds so much to it to say like, oh, well, we specialize in putting on the whole rave. Like this is like the actual, like this is an events company. Like it's not just a rental business. You could literally probably make more money on your first event booking than you would off of the purchasing cost of those headphones. So that's insane. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. What's crazy about the underground DJ business is that like these headliner DJs, they come in with a lot of following and they're actually pretty affordable to just book them. Like I'm talking like $800 to $1,000. You can get a pretty solid DJ for a night. And if you think about it at like a event management company perspective, packaging this up, I probably would foresee like a $3,000 to $5,000 package if you include the DJ, all the equipments figured out, and then like along with the headphones.
Yeah, it's team up with like a headliner DJ. It's such an easy way to like inflate the price to whoever you're billing this to. It's like, well, we're getting this DJ who we're actually flying in from Minnesota, and he's like very underground, but like his scene is like really tapped in here. Like we understand why this is expensive, but yeah, definitely a lot of people don't realize like how cheap DJs actually are. And I think there's also like I've heard from DJs before saying to me like, I just got totally overpaid for this event. And then I asked them how much they charged, and I'm like, oh, like that's all that it costs to fly in a DJ from like California? Like not that bad. It's very economical actually. Like if you're just looking to get a draw for your events, like this is the way.
Now I'm actually curious about Sarah's perspective. Sara, you totally strike me as a raver. Maybe like 1 week out of the entire year and then you're back to normal.
I am not a raver, but I think this is an amazing idea. I see so much opportunity to brand this, like specifically for like if a charity is doing this and they want it to be a reoccurring event or a reoccurring fundraising campaign. There's so much opportunity to make this specific to that charity. Maybe if you're trying to attract a certain community or a certain age bracket, I feel like this would be the way to do it. And I don't think it's a super expensive type of project to work on in terms of building community and getting people involved and in the know about what a certain charity is doing, or if you're trying to increase brand awareness, that sort of thing. I feel like this is such a cool way to do that. Influencers, celebrities, like there's just so much potential for this to grow into a huge fundraising campaign, to be honest, something that can happen year over year.
Something that just occurred to me in my mind about this idea. If anyone is working at the Sick Kids Hospital and they need a fundraising campaign, just imagine this rave happening and the DJ is doing a drop going like, save the children.
Yeah, and do it in the Sick Kids Hospital. The main thing is you have to be doing it somewhere that's like completely like they've got a room somewhere.
Maybe at the research facility, maybe at the front hall of the research facility when it's like off hours. But yeah,
maybe they got a nice patio somewhere on the roof. You know, could be pretty nice. I've heard it's a very nice hospital. This is very scalable. Like doing themed raves. There's people who just do this like as like their job. Like this is like their entire hustle is they just do themed raves. For example, this one right here, Broadway rave. This one's interesting to me because it attracts a crowd of like probably average age of like 40 to 60 at these raves, and they're highly successful. I think they're probably doing it in like 20 plus cities. They just had one in Toronto. This has also been done like there's been like a Shrek rave.
That was like literally the rave idea that was on my mind right now. Like a series of Shrek enthusiasts doing a rave.
That is so odd. How does that even...
Absurdity aside, like if you try a theme and that theme works in one city, then odds are you can go to basically every other city in North America and copy paste that and do it over and over again. So like if you're listening to this idea and you're thinking like, okay, that's cool, but like I'm not going to become like a millionaire off of that idea. You just might be able to, actually, because this Broadway rave, whoever started that up, I think they're probably a millionaire.
Yeah, when you think about like 7-figure to 8-figure revenue direction, the path would be get so much earned media based on like that themed rave direction. Like for instance, Shrek rave, right? It's the title of that, a Shrek themed rave. It's just like something that all local journalists would write about, that event happening in that city. If you have like one successful Shrek rave happening as one case study and you have photographic evidence and like blog articles just like reviewing how great the Shrek rave is, maybe like you did a special song with Lord Farquhar in it and then you mixed it with the DJ for Shrek. If that story goes viral, just think about like you're essentially just like touring these raves, just managing different sets happening in multiple locations throughout the year. And I guess if you have about 50 of these events going on, that would be the path to 7 figures in revenue easily per year. And in those 50 amount of events doesn't have to be like 50 different cities. It could literally be 20 cities, but happening roughly like 3 times per year.
That's so true. And like really, it's good you bring up the press thing there. Yes, the events get press easily because like press likes talking about events. But press likes talking even more about socially responsible things that for-profit businesses are doing. So this just seems like an infinite flywheel of free press and also just naturally viral videos. And the further you go with this idea, the more it would just naturally accelerate. I think at this point, we should buy some of those headphones and start renting them out. Let's do a rave in a coffee shop.
If any viewer is interested in starting up this Shrek rave, I'm just saying, if I go to GoDaddy right now, it might actually be taken.
Somebody's already made their millions off of that one. So like now it kind of makes you wonder like yo, what's that one video with like the spitting cat that goes ooh yeah ooh yeah. Like there's gonna be like raves for that.
Dora rave. Imagine Dora backpack and boots just in visual. That's
yes.
Just like
that's a great IP to choose. Great.
I wonder if SpongeBob rave is a thing.
My God.
That's insane. SpongeBobRave.com is available right now. I might just buy that.
Just get the SpongeBobRave.com and just do one event in collaboration with any charity you want. It's just like the last idea. Do a pilot project. Like Just do one at your own expense and do it for the benefit of some other charity. Just like see if it's successful. See if you can get a case study to write there, put a little deck together, and then be like, okay, well, like, let's do this for real now and start doing your cold emails to all 500 top charities that are perfectly aligned with what you're looking for and work your way down from there.
Yes. And then maybe you'll also get a phone call from Nickelodeon, either from their lawyers or from their marketing managers.
Yeah, just ask really nicely for them not to sue. And maybe they'll collab with you on events.